Hi there, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. I changed my craft room around. That's what I've been doing the last couple of days that I've been off. Now I have not a lot. I need to get rid of one piece of furniture out of my craft room, and I haven't quite decided which one just yet. So for now, my desk used to face this way towards the corner of the room where the two windows are, and now I have it turned this way. I'm just trying to inch closer and closer to the windows, as close as I possibly can, because of the time of year, so I can get a little bit more daylight. That's what I'm doing. Working on that journal for Janine. It's a custom, and is this one here. So if you've been following along, I guess this will be a part 3. It's mostly, we're going to do some stuff with book pages today. So I haven't done anything else with the structure of the journal itself just yet. I thought I would do we'll do a few projects using book pages. And I was working on the next step of the kit. So this just kind of is falling into place for me. So I have printed out the ephemera cards, journaling cards from the kit. So I'm going to cut all these down, ink the edges, and then we are going to make some book page projects together. My ephemera is all cut. These are my journaling cards that I have in some little pockets and little notepad type things, larger postcards, belly band, faux envelopes, a few things that I have come up with so far for the kit. Oops, it's not by any means complete yet, but that is the start. Now, Janine has given me tons and tons of stuff to put into this journal, so I don't even know if I'll need to use all of those, but I wanted to make sure I had some journaling cards for her. And since we are going to do some book page projects today, I wanted something to tuck in to show you how they could be used in a journal. So the first one, this is a test print from the kit. The first one we're going to do is just pick a book page. And this will be a floating pocket. So I'm going to use the back side and start by gluing here. I'd like this kind of rough edge at the top here. That looks good. Got a bit of a fold there. I like the way that looks, so we'll use that. And we'll just tip over just the edge of the page. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Doesn't really matter. I think I will, this blank end, I'll put that on the right side. So I'm upside down right now. My glue's almost done. My neighbor is working on his house. So I do apologize for the hammering. But between that and the guys that work for the farm across and down the road here, today they were cleaning up brush along the roadsides there, some of the overgrowth. So they had a chainsaw, and I was just not catching a break today for filming. It's just a little bit of a busy road, so hopefully, well, and there comes, like, they have just been so busy. So it must be some sort of harvest time or something, because they have been back and forth with big tractor, and when I say big tractors, I mean big tractors and conveyors and wagons and irrigation trucks and you name it. They're busy. But I do live in an agricultural area, so it is to be expected. Slow moving signs, that's a way of life around here. You can expect to be delayed in traffic, not because of excess cars around here. It's usually farm equipment. That I am grateful for, because I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Okay, so this, let me just think for a second if it comes this way or this way first. Okay, let's start by making this fold. Fold your book page in half so we can get some lines here. So we know where to cut. This is going to come over and be a fold over top of that. And then we'll cut down this line. So let's start with this one here. Just going to cut straight up where the book fold is. So there. Now this comes up to become a pocket. So this is just regular copy paper. So what I'm going to do is just simply fold this in half and glue it down and then fold it again. I'm just leaving a bit of a buffer space there for a fold, but that will just give this a little bit of structure. And before we glue anything, let's ink those sides. Just because the old paper's a little fragile, so we'll be a little bit careful. Okay, so I'll turn it this way again so I don't confuse you. Yeah, I think that one is done. Just going to glue this shut. Like that. And like this. So that becomes a pocket. So you can go ahead and glue that down right now. So glue your two sides. If you want to round your corners, you might want to do that first. I'm going to leave mine the way they are. So remember, this will be a floating item because it has pretty paper wrapped all the way around, and we will decorate it. Okay, and then this one, same thing. We're going to cut this chunk off, and then we'll do another fold for a side tuck. So we'll salvage that. So let's just give it a fold so we have a cut line. Try to line myself up here so I get a straight line. So I know where to cut. Roughly. Like that. Now I will just take these little corners off. Just actually, you know what a better thing to do is? This is going to be folded like this and like that, just for a little stability. So this part, I'm just going to angle off just a little bit, just so we don't get that fold paper peeking through. You know what I mean? And hang on to this. And again, just come very close to the edge, but not right on the edge, because we don't want to lift this up when we fold it. And glue that shut. Now this will be a side tuck. So ink. I love this color, the way that aged that particular book. A really nice color. Looks really nice with this printable. Okay, so that is my tuck, and then that goes like this. Okay, so let's get ourselves lined up a little better here. So far, like this and like this. So I ended up with a little bit of a overhang here. So I'm just going to try to trim it a bit without cutting my book page. Or, you know, you could just roll that back and age it and just make it look intentional. But let's see how we do. Did I cut my book page? I hope not. No. So if I ink the whole crease, it should all flow together nice. There. Okay. It's like a natural bend of the book page itself. Okay, so this would be the perfect size. Although that looks really nice in there too. I think I'm just going to trim this and then make it a little shorter so it fits. Still just a little too tall. So these are all great journaling cards. That's cute. I like that. Like that. And does that fit? It does. Okay, cute. So a couple things in there. Make that very fun. So you have, for journaling cards, you could write a whole chapter in here. So you have this journaling card. You have this little notebook type of a journaling card tucked in here. And then this and this for journaling cards. That's cute, but I really like this guy showing, so maybe I'll just put that off to the side. I don't know, maybe I won't use that one at all. I like that. Am I in frame? Sorry. That's cute. I like that. Still looking for something for the outside. Okay, so that's project number 1 with a book page. A little floating booklet or whatever you want to call that. And then project number 2 is somewhat similar. Most book page projects start out with a fold. They just mostly do. Okay, so let's grab this piece that we had, and we're going to simply glue that across the top and then do a fold. I will trim it down a bit. And we'll even this page out a little bit more. And I do want to leave a bit of a margin all the way around. Oh, that's the perfect size. Look at that. Just a little bit of a margin all the way around. And I think I'll trim this down. Like that. And that's going to fold up. Okay. Do I want the pocket on the inside or the outside? I do like it on the outside. I like both, but let's do this one this way. And something we're never lacking is book pages, right? There's always book pages to be used. I've got like a weird kind of thing going on here. Let's fix that. There we go. So you'll have to let me know if this lighting's okay. I hope it's okay. I'm totally turned around, so I'm looking right up the road now instead of at the road. I can actually see up the road because I have windows in both. Here's a window, here's a window. I'm right in the corner. I'm not like right in the corner of the windows because I wanted to leave room It's a short room, like it's the ceiling, I think it's only 7 feet high in here. And I want the windows come down quite low, like to like my knees. So I can't, if I push my desk right up to the corner, then I won't be able to open the shutters. I have those wooden California shutters type of things, right? Which is not a big deal this time of year, but once in a while you like to open the windows, right? So you never know. I didn't want to go right to the corner. So we'll try this for a while and see if it works. Certainly a lot more floor space because I used to use the middle of my floor. My desk was in the middle of my craft room. But now I've decided I am going to have to remove something. Something's got to go. I need to reduce the amount of stuff I have or find a new home for it in my house somewhere, which is near impossible. But I do have a lot of stuff. Or I should just start selling it. That's that too. Okay, so there we go. I like the pocket on the outside. And we'll be doing this. That looks really cute with that moth there. That looks crooked, but it's could be the book page. It could be the way I cut my paper, either or. Let's pretend it's straight. There we go. So another floating pocket. So we will glue the ends right here. I think you may have seen me do this one in a reel. And here. Now you can put something on here or you can leave it as a book page, but your inside is also a book page, so up to you. These are a little bit big. So using some of my designs here. So I'm going to cut that note pad out, I think, and use it inside as writing space. So let's try that. So this could be opened up and then she could write in here. Kind of like that idea too. So I'm curious to know how many of you junk journal makers participate in Christmas craft markets, like a craft show. Do you rent a table and set up and sell your journals? And if so, I'm going to be doing a video about things we can sell at markets, and I thought this would be a good time to do it because it's Christmas. And then I'll be showing you pictures of my setup at one I did a couple years ago. And let me know what you think of those markets, and do you do them throughout the year? I would love to have a conversation about markets. I would like to get that started because that's going to be a video coming soon. Now, I've been to a market. I don't do many, just simply because I didn't really, when I was working full time, it was just too exhausting to fit that into your, whether it was a weeknight or a weekend. It was just too much. It's a lot of setup and you need to make up a lot of stock and stuff. But I have been to a market, the same market, one year after the other, where I sold a fair amount, and the next year I sold like nothing. Nothing. But you do get your name out there for, you know, being able to sell commissions and that sort of thing. There was another girl there selling something similar. I wouldn't really call them junk journals. They're more like a scrapbook folio. And her prices, her stuff was more like commercialized, not vintage vibe like mine. So she had like Snoopy and Halloween and princesses and Disney and all the things. And she actually, her booth was actually much more popular, I think, because they made good gifts for people, because they were theme related. Where here I'm trying to sell, you know, an $85 junk journal, and she's selling $40 Disney. So like it does make a difference who's at your market too, right? And trying to sell junk journals into an area that is not familiar with them, that can also be tricky. Okay, let's see what we have in here. First of all, this little pattern paper would be really pretty. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's very nice. So again, just leaving a little bit of a margin around, all the way around. Just a little bit. That. So all these little bits of paper that we're adding to it are going to give it a little bit more stability as well, because these are fragile book pages, don't forget. Now the nice thing about just adding that little bit of ephemera there, I can change my mind, right? So we can, they're not going to be glued in, they're just sitting in this floating pocket. So I can come back and change my mind later, and I might put some of her actual ephemera in here. But for now, let's do this just to show you what we can do. And we'll do one more book page project. There, that's pretty. And this would be really nice for like some sort of a sentiment across there as well. But we will look at that later. Okay, so we have 1 and 2 so far. So of course you can also tuck stuff in the back. You can also, you know what, let's do that too. Let's put this on the back as well so it's matching. It's a pretty pattern, isn't it? Very inexpensive project because we're using book pages that we've removed from a book to make a journal, and then we're using a printable. So very economic project here. And depending on what ephemera you use, it can be almost like free. These are great little Happy Mail envelopes too. Okay, so now she has a little bit of writing space. She can turn sideways and write in here. Tuck some things on the outside. So we have 2 made. So that used up basically 1 whole sheet of paper, 1 sheet of printable. Okay, made 2 little and 2 book pages. Okay, I'm just reading the titles here. So Dominoes, Bingo. Anyways, this is what we're going to do with this one, is just simply fold this up as a pocket. Now you might want to, this is pretty fragile, so tell you what, let's glue 2 sheets together, okay? Just to make this a little more stable, especially if you want to sew. I won't be sewing, but if you want to not to say I won't go back and sew, but if you wanted to, you might want to double up your paper a little bit. And that way I can do this one upside down. This is another plus to doing this in when I fold the book, if I don't cover it. If you glue this one upside down, and it just so happens that it's got a big blank space, when I fold this up, it's now facing the right way. So that's kind of handy. And the back is completely blank. So that works out. So we can trim this so it's the same. Right there. Unless you like that overhang look, you go ahead and leave it like that. Okay, now as far as decorating, up to you. You don't have to, you can leave it. It seems silly to, but let's get this pretty paper out that we just had. I think that's really pretty actually. I think I'll do this one. See this like fountain idea here? So let's do that. I'm going to leave a little bit of a margin along the sides. Let's just tuck that up in there. So I can see the paper up here. I hope I'm straight. No, a little crooked. Okay. And then for height, I don't need to go all the way, but let's go down to about here, I guess. And we'll glue that in before we glue our pocket closed. It's pretty. I didn't center that very well, but I do kind of like this look here, so I'm not going to be upset about it. That looks good. Now, part of the charm about a book page is leaving some of the book page, so I am going to leave the bottom, but I will ink this up a little bit, I think. I'm not going to cover it completely anyway. We might add a little bit of ephemera to that, but just a very simple book page pocket. Now, I've made these where I've added the fairy people and such to them. I'll show you one in just a sec. So here, I left the book page back there, and then I added a fairy person to the front of the pocket. So you can still put something in behind here, behind the, behind your fairy. And I just decorated the front. This one I did sew. I was practicing. It's not a very good one. But again, with the fairy people and leaving the book page at the back. So now I'm doing the opposite. I'm leaving the book page at the bottom. I'll try to add one of these smaller cards. Maybe this one is really pretty. That's really nice. She's also really nice. Oh, and then we have the map. I think she might be my favorite. Well, let's see what we end up with on the bottom here first. Okay. So it's very neutral, so we could pretty much do anything. We could start with something like this. So we have text, we have typography, we have numbers, we have, and then I'm pulling this together hopefully with this color matching the paper. And now maybe we could go for a little color in here then. That might be the ticket. Who knows? Let's see. Can cut her down to size. Put these two together. She's all right for size, actually. I don't mind that. But now I feel like I want one more size. Maybe one of these. There. Now I'm happy with that. So it's very, very neutral, but we kept some of the book page going. So there's 3 book page projects for you. And that is just, I'm going to make a few more like that, I think, for this journal. There's a lot to go in this journal, but I do want to pull in some of this natural fibers, like the book pages and the different textures. And these will help pull together the, remember I said this journal it's all the way from birth up to today, adults, and I'm trying to pull the whole story together in a theme, and I want to carry this kind of vintage vibe throughout. So there's the baby section, and then this will be her childhood section, and then so I want to use these throughout just to try to pull things together. So for example, this could possibly go, this is a floater though, right? That pocket could possibly get glued right into there, just so that is going to be represented in another bundle, even though this is part of the baby portion of it. But I just want to pull the theme through the journal, if that makes sense. So I'm making some unifying pieces. Okay, look at the mess I've made today. That's a good start though. That's a really good start. Love the book pages. Well, thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room today. I will be sure to add a few more of these videos. I really didn't think anyone would be that interested, really, other than the initial video about the kinds of questions that I ask when I'm a customer, when they want a custom journal done. But as it turned out, you're all kind of interested in this format, which I'm just kind of winging it. So I'm happy to take you along for the ride here as I put this journal together, and as ideas come to me. Yeah, I'm very happy to share that with you. So I guess I will make a few, since I'm making some projects to go into this journal, I'd be happy to share what I'm working on. So that is it for today, I think. There's some more ephemera there. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room today, and I look forward to spending some time with you on the next section, which will be, by then, I will have put together the childhood school days section, and hopefully will be the next stage. I'll be adding that, which I thought I'd do in this video, but I wanted to test out these ephemera, the ephemera part of the kit. But yeah, we'll be putting together the belly bands and the back pages inside the journal and start to pull this, secure this journal into the structure of it. All right, well, thanks, and I will see you next video. Take care. Bye.